Fighting with the swords, gone. Playing with the brain, on. Let's play Giraffe Chess Hattrick League Season 3.
International Giraffe Chess Federation presents Hattrick League Season 3 between 10 Proddatur teams. Hello everyone, welcome to India's new 68 squared Giraffe Chess Academy Proddatur, and welcome to the live telecast of no draws, no resigns, only win or lose in just 70 moves Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us watch Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 19th match between Proddatur Panthers team versus Proddatur Lions team. Each team consists of 3 players. Whoever team all outs opponent all 3 players is the match winners. Let us see the toss at the center of the court.
Toss won by the Proddatur Lions. What will select? Proddatur Lions, they won the toss and elected to play first game.
And in toss, Proddatur Lions team, they won the toss and elected to play on black side. And here is the both teams lineup for Proddatur Panthers team. Naga Vignesh is the opener, Sujan is the second player, and Akhilesh will comes to play as third player. And for Proddatur Lions team, Ram Charan is the opener, and Dinesh is the second player, and Lohit comes to play as third player. Now, let us watch first game of the match between Proddatur Panthers team opening player Naga Vignesh versus Proddatur Lions team opening player Ram Charan Nayak. Let us see among these 2 players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch. Let us move on to the court. Little Scholar awardee Proddatur Panthers team opening player Naga Vignesh is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. Little Scholar awardee Proddatur Lions team opening player Ram Charan Nayak is ready to play on black side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start game 1 of the match. Black side player Ram Charan Nayak is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 1 started.
Pawn to d4, pawn to d5, knight to c3, pawn to e6, pawn to e3, knight to h6, knight to b5, knight to g4, queen to d2, pawn to c6, pawn to h3, knight to f6, knight to c3, knight to e4, knight capture knight at e4, pawn capture knight at e4, pawn to f3, pawn to e5, pawn capture pawn to e4, Pawn capture pawn at d4. Pawn capture pawn at d4. Bishop to e7. Pawn to c3. Bishop to h4 and check to white king. Pawn to g3. Bishop capture pawn at g3 and check to white king. King to d1. Bishop to g4 and check to white king. Bishop to e2. Bishop capture bishop at e2 and check to white king. Queen capture bishop at e2. Castling at king side. Queen to e3. Bishop to h4. Knight to f3. Bishop to f6. Pawn to e5. Queen to e8. Rook to g1. Queen to e7. Queen to f4. Rook to e8. Pawn captured bishop at f6. Pawn capture pawn at f6 illegal. Pawn to f6. Queen to h6.
Now Ram Charan Nayak immediately moved
Queen
his
to
queen to e2 and
E2
said
and
check to white king.
and
It
it's a
is
checkmate.
not only check, it is a checkmate win to Ram Charan Nayak. What a superb checkmate win to Ram Charan Nayak. Proddatur Panthers team opening player Naga Vignesh out. So with this win, Ram Charan Nayak, he won the first game and still need 2 more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match.
Now, let us watch second game of the match between Proddatur Panthers team second player Sujan Kumar Reddy versus Proddatur Lions team opening player Ram Charan Nayak. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Ram Charan Nayak already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us watch what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Panthers team second player Sujan Kumar Reddy is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. Little Scholar awardee Proddatur Lions team opening player Ram Charan Nayak is ready to play on white side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start game 2 of the match. Black side player Sujan is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 2 started.
Pawn to d4. pawn to e6, knight to c3, pawn to d5, pawn to g3, pawn to f6, bishop to g2, pawn to c6, giraffe to d3, pawn to e5, pawn capture pawn at e5, pawn capture pawn at e5, giraffe to g4, pawn to e4, giraffe capture pawn at d5 and check to black king, pawn capture giraffe at d5, knight capture pawn at d5, giraffe to c6, knight to b4, giraffe to f5, queen to e0, giraffe capture bishop g2, queen capture giraffe at g2, knight to f6, pawn to f3, bishop capture knight at b4 and check to white king, pawn to c3, bishop to f8, pawn capture pawn at e4, bishop to d7, pawn to e5, bishop to c6, bishop to g5, bishop capture queen at g2, bishop captured knight at f6, pawn capture bishop at f6, pawn capture pawn at f6, giraffe capture pawn at f6, knight to f3, bishop capture rook at h1, knight to d4, giraffe to c7, knight to b5, pawn to a6, knight to d4, giraffe capture knight at d4, king to e0, bishop to g2 and check to white king, rook to d1 illegal, rook to f1, bishop capture rook at f1 and check to white king, king capture bishop at f1, giraffe to g5, king to g2, queen captured giraffe at d0, king to h3, queen to d6, king to h4, rook to g8, king to h5, giraffe to f2, pawn to g4, queen to g6 and check to white king, king
Now
to h4,
Sujan immediately
queen
captured pawn
pawn
at g4 and
check
set check to white king.
and
It
it's a
is not
checkmate.
only check, it is a checkmate win to Sujan. What a superb checkmate win to Sujan. Proddatur Lions team opening player Ram Charan out, and with this win Sujan he won the first game and still need two more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match.
Let us watch third game of the match between Proddatur Panthers team second player Sujan Kumar Reddy versus Proddatur Lions team second player Dinesh Reddy. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Sujan Kumar Reddy already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us see what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Panthers team second player Sujan Kumar Reddy is ready to play on right side. Let us see on other side of the court. One-time hat-trick hero and Scholar awardee Proddatur Lions team second player Dinesh is ready to play on black side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start game 3 of the match. Black side player Dinesh is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 3 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, pawn to f3, pawn to f6, pawn to d3, knight to c6, pawn to c3, pawn to d5, pawn to d4, pawn capture pawn at e4, pawn capture pawn at e4, pawn capture pawn at d4, pawn capture pawn at d4, queen captured pawn at d4, queen captured queen at d4, knight captured queen at d4, bishop to e3, knight to c2 and check to white king, king to d1, knight capture rook at a1, giraffe capture knight at a1, pawn to f5, bishop to d3, giraffe to c6, bishop to c2, giraffe to f7, pawn to h3, Pawn capture pawn at e4. Knight to e2. Giraffe to f6. Bishop to f4. Pawn to e3. Giraffe to b4. Pawn to g6. Giraffe captured pawn at e3. Giraffe captured giraffe at e3. Bishop captured giraffe at e3. Bishop to f5. Bishop captured bishop at f5. Pawn captured bishop at f5. Bishop to d4. Rook to d8. King to c1. Bishop to h6 and check to white king. King to c2. Knight to f6. Bishop capture knight at f6. Rook to g8. Bishop capture rook at d8. King capture bishop at d8. Rook to g1. King to e7. King to c3. King to d6. Knight to a3. Rook to d8. Knight to c4 and check to black king. King to d5. Rook to d1 and check to black king. King to e6. Rook capture rook at d8. Bishop to g7 and check to white king. King to b4. Bishop to f6. Knight to f4 and check to black king. King to e7. Rook to d5. pawn to a6, rook capture pawn at f5, pawn to h6, knight to a5, king to d6, knight capture pawn at b7 on check to black king, king to e7, king to c5, giraffe to c8, king to c6, bishop to g7, king capture pawn to c7, bishop to e9 and check to white king, king capture giraffe at c8, king to e8.
Now we can see Sujan is just one step away to win by crowning.
King
Yes,
to
he moved his
D9,
king to d9
crowning win.
and won the game by crowning. What a superb crowning win to Sujan. And Dinesh out. Proddatur Lions team second player Dinesh out. Sujan with this win he won continuously 2 games and still need one more win to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match.
Now, let us watch fourth game of the match between Proddatur Panthers team second player Sujan Kumar Reddy versus Proddatur Lions team last player Lohit Reddy. Let us see who will win this game. If Sujan Kumar Reddy wins this game, it will be hat-trick to the Sujan Kumar Reddy. He will be the hat-trick hero of today's match and his Proddatur Panthers team won the match. If Lohit Reddy wins this game, match will be tied with 2-all teams and go for 5th game for result. Let us move on to the court. Best Scholar awarding Proddatur Panthers team second player Sujan Kumar Reddy is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best Scholar awarding Proddatur Lions team last player Lohit Reddy is ready to play on white side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start game 4 of the match. Black side player Sujan is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 4 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to f3, pawn to f6, pawn to d4, giraffe to e6, knight to d2, pawn to d6, pawn capture pawn to e5, pawn capture pawn to e5, bishop to c4, pawn to g6, giraffe to f3, giraffe to h5, giraffe to e0, pawn to f5, pawn capture pawn at f5, pawn capture pawn at f5, bishop to b5 and check to black king, pawn to c6, bishop to d3, giraffe to e4, knight capture giraffe at e4, pawn capture knight at e4, bishop capture pawn at e4, queen capture queen at d4, d1 and check to white king, king capture queen at d1, knight to f6, bishop to d3, pawn to e4, bishop to f1, bishop to g4 and check to white king, pawn to f3, pawn capture pawn at f3, giraffe capture pawn at f3, knight to e4, king to e1, rook to g8, pawn to h3, bishop to h5, pawn to g4, knight to g3, rook to h2, bishop to d6, rook to g2, knight capture bishop at f1, king capture knight at f1, bishop to f7, rook to e2, king to d7, rook to e4, bishop to c4 and check to white king, giraffe capture bishop at c4 and check to black king, king to c7, rook capture giraffe at e9, rook to f8 and check to white king, king to g2, knight to d7, rook to e1, knight to e5, bishop to h6, rook to f6, bishop to e9 and check to black king, king to c8, bishop to g7, rook to f4, bishop capture knight at e5, bishop capture bishop at e5, rook capture bishop at e5, king to c7, king to g3, rook capture giraffe at c4, rook to e7 and check to black king, king to d6, rook capture pawn at h7, king to e5, rook to e7 and check to black king, king to d4, rook to e1, rook capture pawn to c2, knight to b3 illegal, knight to a3, rook capture pawn to b2, giraffe to e3, rook to d2, king to h4, rook to g8, pawn to g5, rook to d3, giraffe to d0, rook capture giraffe to d0, king to g4, king to d3, king to f5, rook to d2, king to f6, rook to f2 and check to white king, king to e7, king to d2, king to d7, rook to e2, knight to c4 and check to black king, king to d3, knight to e5 and check to black king, king to e3, knight to g4 and check to black king, king to f3, knight to h2 and check to black king, rook capture knight at h2, rook to e8, rook to e2, king to d8,
Now we
rook
can see
capture rook at
Lohit is
e8
just
and check
one
to white
step away
king,
to win by
king to
crowning.
d9,
Yes, he moved his
crowning
king to d9 and won the game by crowning. What a superb crowning win by Lohit. Sujan out. Proddatur Panthers team second player Sujan out. And a great disappointment for the Sujan. Actually, he is on hat-trick. He got a hat-trick chance, but he lost the hat-trick chance.
Now, let us watch most important match winning deciding fifth game of the match between Proddatur Panthers team last player Agneshwar Reddy versus Proddatur Lions team last player Lohit Reddy. So far, both teams won 2 games. Now, whoever team player wins this fifth game, they are the match winners. Let us watch what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Proddatur Panthers team last player Agneshwar Reddy is ready to play on right side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Lions team last player Lohit Reddy is ready to play on black side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start. Game 5 of the match. Black side player Lohit is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 5 started.
Pawn to d4, pawn to e6, pawn to c4, knight to f6, bishop to e3, knight to g4, bishop to f4, queen to f6, knight to h3, knight capture pawn at f2, knight capture knight at f2, queen capture bishop at f4, giraffe to c3, queen to f6, knight to g4, queen to d8, pawn to e4, pawn to d6, queen to f3, giraffe to c6, pawn to d5, pawn to f5, knight to e3, pawn capture pawn at e4, queen capture pawn at e4, giraffe to f7, queen to f3, pawn capture pawn at d5, knight capture pawn at d5, bishop to g4, knight to f6 and check to black king, pawn capture knight at f6, bishop capture pawn at b7, illegal, bishop to e2, bishop captured queen at f3, pawn captured bishop at f3, queen to e7, castling at king side, pawn to f5, rook to e1, queen to g5 and check to white king, king to f1, pawn to d5, bishop to d3, king to d9, rook to e5, bishop to c5, knight to c2 illegal, knight to d2, queen to g1 and check to white king, king to e2, queen capture pawn at h2 and check to white king, king to d1, queen capture rook at e5, pawn capture pawn at d5, rook to e8, king to d2, queen capture pawn at d5, giraffe to h1, giraffe to c8, giraffe to e2, giraffe to d5 and check to white king, bishop capture giraffe at b5, queen to e6, rook to e1, rook to d8, giraffe to f4, queen to d6, rook to d1, bishop to e3, king to b3, queen to e6 and check to white king, bishop to c4, queen to b6 and check to white king, king to c2, bishop capture knight at c2, rook capture bishop at d2, knight to d7, bishop to f7 and check to black king, king to c8, giraffe to d5 and check to black king, king to b8,
Now Akhilesh
giraffe to
immediately
e7
jumped
and check to
giraffe
black king and it's a
E7
checkmate.
and set check to black king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Akileshwar. What is superb checkmate win to Akileshwar. Lohit out. Proddatur Lions team last player Lohit out. And with this out, Proddatur Lions team all out and lost the match in the crucial fifth game. What is superb win given by the Akileshwar to the Proddatur Panthers team. By this fifth game win, Akileshwar makes his team won. Congratulations to the Akileshwar, Proddatur Panthers team player.
Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us see match number 19, Proddatur Panthers versus Proddatur Lions match scoreboard. Let game 1. In game 1, Proddatur Lions player Ram Charan Nayak outs Proddatur Panthers player Naga Vignesh by checkmate in 23 moves. In game 2, Proddatur Panthers player Sujan outs Proddatur Lions player Ram Charan Nayak by checkmate in 32 moves. In game 3, Proddatur Panthers player Sujan outs Proddatur Lions player Dinesh by crowning in 42 moves. Here in game 4, Proddatur Lions player Lohit outs Proddatur Panthers player Sujan by crowning in 57 moves. Bad luck to Sujan for hat-trick, loss of hat-trick. In game 5, Proddatur Panthers player Akhilesh outs Proddatur Lions player Lohit by checkmate in 41 moves. And finally, here is the match result. Proddatur Panthers team won the match by all outs Proddatur Lions team in 5 games. And here is the points table of Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3 after 19 matches. Let us see what are the top 4 teams. Proddatur Kings with 8 points stands in first position. Proddatur Chirutas with 6 points stands in second position. Proddatur Spartans with 6 points stands in third position. Proddatur Jaguars with 4 points stands in fourth position. Each team, after playing 9 games, final points are calculated for the top 4 positions. Top 4 teams qualify for the playoffs.